Hello, hello, hello. Hmm. Hello, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Let's see who is here. Hello, Loretta. Hi, Alice. Hi, Pam and Virginia and Debbie. Hello, Debbie Easton and Kathy and Lori and Lynn and Deb Daniker. So good to see you guys on. Hi, Sue Braun and Peg and Sylvia and Sherry Ann. Hello, Janet Roach and Bev Cecilski. How are you guys doing? Oh, hello, Linda. Linda, what is the temp there in Phoenix? You're kind of my gauge. Hello, Carol. It is 60 here right now. It's a little bit chillier than yesterday, but you're always so good for my ego, Lynn. Thank you. Hi, Eileen. Whew. So, as usual, busy week. I feel like most of my lives on Sunday probably start with that. Right? How about y'all? So, I went walking yesterday for the first time since I can't even tell you. Hello, Bev Winkleman. I have two bad knees. My right one, a lot worse than the others. And yesterday was great. I mean, just being out again in nature and looking at all the pretty things that are growing in the park that we have in our town, which is just lovely. But I woke up about 3 o'clock this morning with a very bad sore knee. 81 in South Texas. Hello, Lucy. Lucy Mott, I'm going to come up there and wrap you in bubble wrap, girlfriend. You've had too many falls. Hi, Pat. Hi, Bonnie. Hello, Ronnie. Anyway, but man, my knee was throbbing at, 3 something this morning. And so got up this morning, put some lotion on it, took some Motrin, did better, but still not great. I have put off surgery. So loved the snake rocks, right? So cute. It was adorable. If you didn't see that, you can go to my Sandy McTeer page, and it's public. Hello, Mickey. How are you up there in Georgia? Hello, Brenda Owen and Pam. Oh my goodness. So many of y'all on. Happy you're here. Make sure to like, comment, and share so that you're entered into the giveaways. Cold up here in New York. I heard that. That does not seem, that does not seem, I can only see half your comment because this does not seem fair. What, that we have 60-degree weather? Yesterday was 70 plus, close, I think it was like 78. It was warm. You are Lucy. I'm here for you. I had both knees replaced. Yes, I'm going to end up having to have that. So, oh my goodness, no, Loretto. So it is, they're rocks that people paint. Let me see what I have for my net projects. I have 4. Let me show you 2 of them. All right. So I'm just going to spring right down here. So you guys remember those backgrounds we did with the tissue paper? We're going to create something on the colorful one today. Okay. Okay. I don't have handy with me, or do I? Nope, I don't. They're in the other room. I don't have handy with me the Christmas, like the wreath, the festive wreath, and the bee skep. I don't have those handy right now, but I am and was selected to teach at New England Traditions. So let me see if I still have those up there. I do. So 2025 painting conventions, you have one coming up in April in Oregon, which I wish I was going to, but I'm also going to be in Texas painting next in that month. So couldn't go. And then you have OKC and then New England traditions. Okay. So hello, Dawn. Hi, Diane. Hi, Janet. Hi, Nanette. And Madeline. Oh, 20 degrees. Oh my goodness. As bad as everyone thinks. I did both. Yeah, I'm going to end up needing a knee replacement. I was supposed to have one a few years ago, the last World of Color Expo convention. And then I got a second opinion. They said, no, we can wait. But yeah, it's bad. So anyway, but the Modern Help. Hello, Patrick. So yes, I'm excited about Net. I've never been. You love the dragonfly behind me. Is that over here or is it over there? I don't know. I'm challenged. Let's see, that one over there. I taught that at OKC last year, and then I also taught it with my membership group. So I shared that with them. If you guys have not checked into my membership group, I highly, highly recommend that you do. There are 300 plus lessons recorded, which I am in the middle of rehousing so that we don't lose them, because we have a live Facebook group and that's where I do my lives and lessons. So I'm moving all that over to my website. But anyway, 300 plus recorded lessons that you can watch and have access to 3 to 4 lives monthly. So one of the ones we did this month was I did my cover girl on my art journal. And so I did a Facebook Live with my group, doing that on Zoom so that we can see everybody's face. And then the one that I painted, while the same, always slightly different. And then next month, yeah, that is next month. It's March. So in February, I draw names for member Happy Mail. And so this is one of the giveaways for that. But let me see if I have our latest lesson that we just did Thursday. And I'll just pan right down here. And then I'll show you my net projects. So this is my original. And then I shared with my group how I sometimes will do chins that are a little bit pointy, but if you wanted to round it out, you just round it out. So this was actually, she was similar to a girl I had on the cover of my journal. This one I found some little gold leaf flakes. So I started adding some of those. Okay, but let's go back to net real quick, and then I'll share some of this unboxing stuff that I have. So at Net, I'm teaching 2 7x10 wood panels that have kind of like a festive wreath with pine cones. Again, I don't have that one with me right now, or the bee skep with the sunflowers at the base. But this one is one of my favorites. It's blue and white. It's MDF. And I don't know, I love it because it's simple. But again, it really is a great lesson in floating. So if floating is not your thing, or if you love to float, this is the class you're going to want to sign up for at Net. Okay. So let's move that out of the way. And then this was one, funny enough, that I actually submitted to OKC, but they picked the butterfly and Net picked the steampunk palette. So piggybacking. I would love to see you there, Ronnie. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Linnell. And Elizabeth. Anywho's, so this is the steampunk palette, and it comes with all the bits and bobs, everything that is layered on there. And then dry brushed, and we have metallic lusters and the Deco Earth paints. There's some steampunk stenciling in the background. So just a fun, fantastic piece to learn something different, right? Speaking of different, I got a package and I cannot wait to play around with it. But someday I'm going to join your group. Oh, I would love that, Robin Richer. We have a lot of fun. So Retique It have any of y'all heard of that or this product? Leave a comment and let me know if you have. And then let me back up just a minute. If this is your first time joining, hi, I'm Sandy McTeer. Welcome into my studio. I am smack dab in the middle of the state of Georgia, and I'm happy that you're here watching. Make sure to like, comment, share so that you're entered into the giveaways, the happy mail that I do for the next live that I have, which is going to be next Sunday. I will announce happy mail giveaways. Okay, so let's go back down here. So I got a box, Retique It. It has real wood in it. Okay, so the gist behind it, and you can Google it. There are videos on YouTube. Anyway, this is a Deco Arts company that's under their Deco Art umbrella. Okay, so anyway, it is an exterior product. I'm excited to start playing and seeing what I could do with it. There are things like the wood grain rollers. There's 2 different sizes there, and then some Retique It brushes. So I think there was maybe 6 jars of different kind, like light oak, maple, walnut, a whole bunch of different looks to make it look like it's real wood. So y'all know I love texture. I'm excited to play with this. I was going to plan to do it today, but time got away from me, and I really do want to do it justice. I've seen it in person. I've seen and you guys can see right there, right? The people that won. I'm excited to get it and put my hands on it and try it. So I will share that with you guys soon. I hope it's not as bad as it looks. Oh my goodness, me too. Hello, Kay. It is. So still just like JRC, which is Jack Richardson, which is the company of my absolute favorite palette paper, Jack Richardson. They're in Wisconsin. They do pastels, oils, art easels, which are fantastic. And they are under the umbrella of Decor as well. So again, my absolute favorite. We're going to use some Dynasty brushes today. Some of the ones that we have done in the past weeks, specialty brushes, and then my regulars. But let's start with Happy Mail. All right. So on Facebook and on YouTube, you were the first to comment to let me know that you were here. And so on Facebook, Loretta Bell, and on YouTube, Janet Roach. Let me know what free e-packet on my website right now that you'd like. All righty. Okay, so we have Happy Mail going out. It's going to be brushes, some stencils, stamps, a couple other little extra goodies. And the first one is Sandy Pyle. Now let me just kind of reiterate my Happy Mail giveaways. When you guys watch, and then all through the week till my next live. So this morning at 11 o'clock, I took all the names that were on, that watched live and then watched throughout the week and that commented, and put your name on a wheel. These are the names that pop up on the wheel. I write them down, I share it with y'all, and I will get your Happy Mail if you mail or send me either on my website or here. Well, not here. You want to do messenger, email, or email me through my website, your mailing address. Okay. If I don't get it by my next live, unfortunately, that goes back into the stash. Or I would have a long slew of unclaimed Happy Mail. So, first one, Happy Mail number 1, Sandy Powell. Happy Mail number 2, Nanette, my sweet friend down in Houston. All right. And then third, Happy Mail, Mary Davis. All right. Now, I know there are a few Mary Davises, so we will have to make sure that we get it to the right one, right? All righty, guys. Oh, let me show you a couple other things I did. So I was playing around with some resin. I'm not real big on resin. Like, I don't like all the fumes and mixing. I used to do Japanese paper covered washi eggs in the early 90s. And then, when we lived in Iceland, I did them as well. And I remember just the fumes and the smell. But this one I did actually with the Michael's resin. And this was a butterfly that we did on the peony piece a couple months ago. Okay. And then remember the bunny that I did, the little RAK, Random Act of Kindness bunny pin. I did him in resin, or her, whichever. And then I'll put a little pin back on it. But let me show you the fail, because not everything works out according to plan, right? So when you go to move things that have resin on them, it needs to be on a surface. Let me just say, my fingernail stuck to the side of this egg, and this resin egg flipped over, fell onto my workstation by my feet. And do you see all that texture that I don't want on there? And I thought, okay, I'm going to throw it away, but I wanted to share it and show with you guys first, because I have lots of fails, believe me. And let's just hope today winging it is not one of them. So I have some odorless resin, and I probably should use that, right? Okay, so remember a few weeks ago we did a couple of backgrounds. I just sketched out something on here that I'm hoping works. We did with tissue paper. Okay, so when you get a package from me, most likely you're going to have one, if not both, of these tissue papers in it for the spring. All right. Let's just move that out of the way. So we did this. I'm just going to pop that up right there. We did that, I want to say last month, maybe early February, end of January. Anyway, so we created those backgrounds, and I was waiting to see what I could put on them. And I kind of sketched something out, but I wanted to show and share with you guys let me get my journal, and let me get the one that's mine and not the one I'm giving away, just to find a blank page. I do this often with my journal, and then I end up with things that are, there we go. All right, so when you're thinking about a tulip, was what I sketched out on this piece right here. Hello, Joanne Hall. Yes, resin can be very tricky and very sticky, right? Okay, so what I want you to see is that shape right there, okay? Hello, Deb. So if we have kind of an oval circle, if you will, you probably can't see that real well, but let's just zoom in a wee bit. Okay. Now, when it comes to tulips, and you know that you have a stem, right? You can kind of find your stem place first, or your stem place can come second, depending on how you draw it out. You just know that you want that stem to come from the middle of the tulip, all right? So if I come up the side and I do a little petal, and then we'll do a little petal and a little petal. See, I can follow the shape of that circle and create those petals. Okay, and then again, when you remove lines from your background and I think I'll give that one a little bit of a flip. Okay, so getting that shape, knowing that it's kind of cupped. Now, you have lots of different shapes when it comes to tulips. You have some that are a little more pointed, right? So the one I drew out about an hour ago was this tulip. That's a little bit more round, bowl type, and I love the look of it. And then you remember, I think it was when we did the leaves, which was last week, and you do leaves that are curled or flipped, right? And those long tulip leaves that are just long and slender and have lines. So we're going to use a few things today. I thought it would be fun to kind of dabble in again the dagger and the wave brush that I used when we did leaves. And then I have some other specialty brushes, like we might do some splatter. So I'll use the 1-inch oval encaustic. My favorite mop brush, which is the IPC medium soft flat top mop. All right, what other brushes do I have? Mezzaluna, of course. You guys know how I love my Mezzaluna brushes. Now, I think I could probably paint anything with a number 8 flat or a 3/8 angle. But I want to show you how, if you have those brushes, those other ones, how you can use them. Okay, so let's just move that. And this, I'm either going to cover it with gesso or I'm going to paint it. So let's move that out of the way. And let's bring our piece over. So again, if you didn't see it, I did this, I don't know, early last month. I don't even know if I have the original picture on there, which I don't think I do. And created, oh, let's go to the right page. Created this background using the tissue paper and gesso and color. And I also wanted to incorporate today, guys, some of the new colors, the new Americana colors. If you've not seen those yet, you can find them here. Cover Distributing, Pinecraft, DecoArt. There's that discount code for DecoArt, and I am just absolutely in love with them. I thought last year was my absolute favorite, but I'm thinking this year might surpass that. All right, so I'm going to move some things out of the way because I want to grab a couple things that I also had in my studio that I've been playing around with on my my laser. And so I thought, you know, I want to use those on something. And then today when I drew this out, I thought, you know what? I think I might go ahead and make that part of, and it does have a platform. And do I have the platform here? I do not. But guess what? The platform is just going to be painted similar to the way I did this. And I'll put that on my website. The other thing is the tulip, I will do a line drawing and put that as a free download on my website as well, okay? These are not on my website yet. Again, I was just playing around, but they will be later today or tomorrow, all right? So, again, just kind of winging it. I knew that I wanted something purple with this color combination, again, kind of tying into spring. Thank you, Chris. So Chris Avola put some links in there, and thank you. I appreciate that. You've had that happen with triple thick, Sue. I have had that happen with triple thick. I did a phone case and it flipped over. Absolute mess. Alrighty, so let's get some colors out. Again, if you did this background with the tissue paper I sent you, in fact, funny enough, my sweet friend Dee was like, I got tissue paper. Why did I get tissue paper in my order? I'm like, well, because I just folded it nicely and thought, you can just use some tissue paper. Hello. Alrighty, so we're going to get out some color. This is the new Lavender Haze. Remember, do not forget to take those off. So I'm going to actually put that there because I want to get some Payne's Gray out first. So this is my absolute favorite Payne's Gray. It's the media line. I do carry the media line because I think it's exceptional. Very underrated. All right. And then we're also going to get out one of the new colors, avocado toast. And let's put that on our palette. And some warm white. Okay, so warm white, we're going to put that out. And then let me grab my favorite angle size, a 3/8 angle. And I'm using my faux squirrel. Hello, Linda Safranco. Glad that you're here. Make sure that you guys hit that like, subscribe, thumbs up button over on YouTube. The other thing is, if you do stars on YouTube, excuse me, on Facebook, or you do the money thing, that goes to the World Central Kitchen, which feeds hungry people around the world. One of my favorite charities. Okay, so I have a 3/8 angle. I have a little bit of water in it. I'm going to pick up some Payne's Gray and work that into the toe. Now, this is pencil sketched, so my pencil is probably going to bleed a little bit. And if it does, I'm not real worried about it right now. Okay, but what I want to be able to see is the shape of my petals. I could use a pen and outline them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to come in and separate these petals so that I know where they're at. This is Payne's Gray. It is transparent. And again, it's just for me, for placement, for guidance, for where those lines are for those petals. So anytime you can do that for yourself and give that that placement, it really does help. Okay, so you see how all that's starting to come together? You can see that the separation in those petals. I've never really been one that's been able to do like the separation, like leave a little space. So this is just typically when I'm designing and painting, which you guys are going to see a lot of today because I don't have anything planned. So we have this guy right here. Let's see, we'll do that one as one. And this is going to be a little back petal that I see right there. And then I want to just come down, although this is probably going to be mostly covered up. I still want to be able to see where the veins on those petals are, because when I'm painting, it helps me to see how those petals lay, all right, how they are incorporated into the flow of that flower. All right, so I'm going to come back in and just strengthen that right there. Okay, so I did think about doing that. However, that is way too small for this piece, right? It is, and she does it beautifully, right, Diane? I've just never been able to do it. So, oh, who wrote that? Yes, you absolutely can do that. You can always involve giving our financial information. Yes. So, Chris, thank you for that, because yes, that was Chris's same concern. And so she mailed me a check, as did several other people, to give to the charity without Facebook. I will say that Facebook and YouTube take a percentage. So if you want to do it without having that percentage taken, you can always message me and let me know how you can get that to me. We were able to give them quite a bit last year. Okay, now just for the sake of doing it, to show you that I have my flip right here. I can barely see my lines from my pencil, but we're just gonna wing it. And then let's go up here, right onto that flip. So I escaped yesterday after walking. I just played in my art journal just to sit and create and play, and rid my mind of all the chaos in the world right now. I don't do real well with those things, so much needed playtime in my art journal just to ground myself, kind of recenter. The walking did that. The Lauren Daigle on my earbuds, and all was right with the world, right? Okay, so I'm just going to, oops, slide some of that down. I want the stem to look like it kind of folds into those leaves. So, yeah, so Nancy, the background was done on a previous live. I like to do that just to kind of give, if you think, oh, I want to paint that, you can do it on any surface. I do have this surface on my website, but it can be any surface, and use any tissue paper. If you ordered it on Amazon, what I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago, great. If not, when you order, I'm going to send you some. All right, let's dry it. So now I have my design, right? My pencil sketch to a semi-outlined thing. And while this is drying, let me just hold this up. Remember this one, guys, we did with the tulip. Give me your thoughts in the comments, what you'd like to see painted on this one. I originally thought I was going to put a tulip on that, but I thought that's a little cliche, right? I mean, it's got tulips in the background. So let me know what color, what you'd like to see painted on that other piece, okay? That's what I want to do, is play, right? I love to play especially in my art journal. Because if I mess it up, no big deal. All right, I'm going to get out a number 8 flat. Hi, Karen. And we're going to keep it a little wet. And then I'm going to pull that down and work in some warm white. So, well, we're doing a hummingbird in the membership group, Loretta, so I probably won't do that. It's like my girls. I kind of reserve those for my members. They have such a special place in my heart, and I love to share all those things in the membership group, but possibly. I can't remember if I've done a hummingbird on a Sunday Live, or even for that matter, if I've done one of my girls on a Sunday Live. I don't think so. Okay, so we are just going to paint some warm white. Now this is why I shaded and floated that Payne's gray on. Do you see? I can still see all my lines. I want to be able to see my lines. All right. It would look, I was thinking a bunny. I was actually thinking a bunny. Yep, so we'll see. All right, so we're going to go back to the avocado toast that we put out. I rinsed my brush. I have my number 8 flat, but I'm going to pick up a little bit of that warm white with it. It's a pretty diffused green, but at the same time, I want it to be a little bit more opaque. And I'm kind of excited to see where these colors are going to go today. I'm not using all of them, but I am going to use quite a few of the new 2025 decor Americana colors. So that warm white's just going to give it a little bit more opacity. You can always leave it a little more transparent if that's the way you like it. Oftentimes I will start out that way and then, dry brushing and layering and dry brushing and washes and dry brushing, and yeah, you get the picture. It's sometimes got a little bit of a mind of its own. We're just going to slide down there. Now that's where I could have used the dagger brush. Okay, so remember, the dagger brush is fantastic for, let's pick this back up and move this out. We did these, what, last week? No, the week before. I had a me day last week, actually. But you can slide up. I don't want to do it on the pencil one, but slide up and push it out to make those leaves with a dagger brush. They make great ribbon. So very thin pinstripe lines. Push, push. So makes beautiful ribbon. This one right here is a 1/4 inch black gold by Dynasty dagger, a dagger brush. It looks like a knife, like a dagger, right? So great brush for doing leaves, long slender leaves. Let's come back to thumper would be cute. A wabbit. Do a wascally wabbit. I love that, Linda, but I feel like I do dragonflies and butterflies all the time. In fact, I wasn't even sure if I was going to add a bee to this, but I don't know. I just think that's cute. My go-to is a butterfly. I'm kind of a butterfly fanatic, but I think we will go here. Okay, so let's dry this. Hello, Gilbert. So good to see you on. Watching you while I work. I'm tethered to my laser cutter today. Oh, Kathy. Whew. I've been tethered to mine for 2 days because it is not calibrating right. So, don't know what its deal is. I gave it a really nice pep talk before I started, but she was not having it. Okay, let's go to that number 8 flat. Again, it's got water in it. I'm going to come here and pick up that lavender haze. So remember, this is a new 2025 color. It's a great mid-tone purple. Although, depending on how dark your purple is, it could even be your highlight color. But I just want to bring in some of that purple. And again, I'm still going to be able to see, hopefully, those lines that I put in with the Payne's Gray. Let me tilt it so that you can still see them. And you could always do the back first and then come to the front if you're worried that you're going to miss sections. I'm just going to pull that right down. Okay, and then let's dry it. Oh, yes, Kathy, we do. Mine has been acting up like big time. More so than, I have 2 of them, and one's doing things that the other one never did. So, oh my goodness. Well, there are so many beautiful butterflies, right, Sue? Yes. So I saw my friend Loretta Bell just went to Key West, and they have a beautiful, wonderful butterfly. What is it called? What's it called, Loretta? I don't want to say it's not a museum. I mean, they have live butterflies flying around. It's just absolutely amazing. Kind of like a botanical gardens, but with a lot of butterflies. Okay, let's get out some Dioxine Purple. Now I use Dioxine Purple in the media line because it is vibrant, beautiful, and is better than the Americana. Dioxine Purple, if I'm being honest. It is my go-to purple. Love it. I also want to put out some, what other colors do I think I'm going to use? I think I'm going to use some Amazement. I know, right? It's kind of a green, but I'm thinking with the purple, it's going to show differently, hopefully. I want to put a little pink in to kind of pick up some of the pink in the background. So we'll put some of the new Love Potion. What else? I think that's it for right now. Okay. Butterfly Conservatory. Thank you, Sue Potts. That is it. The Butterfly Conservatory. Could not think of that name, but oh my gosh, when we went, there was quite a long line, and my husband said, "Do you really want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I really want to go." And so we went a few years ago, and all the butterflies landed on him. Not one butterfly landed on me. So, okay, so I have Doxine Purple on my 3/8 angle, and I'm going to start floating that in to separate these petals a little bit more, and then I'll just softly walk it out. You can also use your mop brush. Remember, another little specialty brush, that's my favorite. And then we will come right up here and get this petal right there. I'm going to pick up a little bit more water. If that paint is not just flowing off your brush, you need a little bit more moisture. So a little more Josanya Fast Dry Glaze Medium or Flow Medium. That's going to be actually on that side. I think I want that petal to come forward. But that Doxing Purple is just everything. And we will do, I think there. Trying to remember how I drew this out. And we can even put a little bit of dark back there, because the thing is, you can get your placement and it's just paint, right? So we will cover up that top ridge with a little bit of white. If sounds like a place for me and my apps. Oh my gosh, Lucy Mott, your camera would be amazing in that place. There are so many pretty butterflies and flowers and just tropical everything. I love Key West. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the Dox Purple. I'm going to come right up that side. All right. So again, we've got shape, right? You see the front petals, you see the back petals. Let's get in a little shading right there. And you can always soften out. Okay, we will do those several times. I highlight and shade many, many, many times. So, okay, I want to come in with that Diox Purple just to get kind of like those little veins that go down the petals. So, Diox Purple on the toe of my angle brush. And I'm having those face the right-hand side. Let's see if that translated right there. It did not, so we're gonna... Sometimes when you turn your piece, it can get a little off. And I know I want one right there. A little bit at the base. Although I'm gonna lighten the base, I think. You know how those tulips have like a little bit of a glow where it comes up from the stem? I'm kind of thinking I need to incorporate that. And then I'm thinking I want to take away a little bit of that petal. And again, I'll put the line drawing, free printable, up on my website. Most likely tonight when I get done. Okay. All right. I love butterflies too. It's one of my favorite. Birdhouse, bird bath. There's a butterfly garden in Grand Rapids. Ah, found you. Hello, Wendy Warner. Alrighty, guys, so let's move on. I want to play around with a couple of the specialty brushes that we used a couple weeks ago that I shared with you. One that I love that I just do not use enough, and I don't know why, is a wave brush. So you see how those little jagged bristles can give you a really pretty, just like a lot of different lines at the same time. Okay, let me show you two things like I did on our live a couple of weeks ago. Is if you get it too thick, let's just use purple. If you get your paint too thick, you're going to get that, okay? If you use too much pressure, you're going to get that. But if you have that paint with a little extra water in it and work that in on your palette, like you can see right there on the right-hand side that I'm doing, and I still like to just swipe it gently across my paper towel, that you can get lines. Okay, now I can build the color if I want to, but it's light pressure. It's very, very loose and light. Okay, you can do grasses, you can do sea oats, you can do palm fronds for palm trees. Okay, that one stroke's going to create all those different little bristle looks. Okay, so on here, I think we will go back, and I'm probably going to flip-flop back and forth between this and the dry brushing. And we're going to pick up some of the lavender haze, and I want to pick up a little bit of warm white. Maybe a little bit more warm white. Okay, oops, got a little fleck of paint in there. Let's get that out. All right, a little bit more water. Again, swipe across your paper towel so you don't have too much. And I want to just pull from the edge. I know that that's the front. So you can even use the chisel edge of it if you want to make sure that you've got the shape of your petal. I'm not worried about that center line. I put the center line in to help me see where things were and how the petal laid. But I know that I will most likely come back and paint it at least 2 more times. Okay, let's get our mop brush. And then I want to take my heat tool. I have some wave brushes, never use them. We'll get those brushes out. Right? They are great. Oops, my heat tool is falling. Let's move that. I did this with my group the other night. I have glue, like super glue, right where I lay my heat tool when I paint with you guys, and I don't want that to catch on fire. Okay, let's go to the, let's find it, medium mezzaluna. Okay, now this is, Low Cornell used to have a, I can't remember what they were called. They were dome, something dome, but this is hard and soft bristles. It is perfect for dry brushing, clouds, adding texture. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, warm white, and I'm going to work it in. And I can now that I know how to use it. And I'm just going to swipe it lightly. And where I put that lavender on, I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just pulling those. So I'm pulling them toward that center little line that I put on, and then wipe it off. We'll put a little bit down that and wipe it off. A little on that side, and wipe it off. Okay, and I know, I think I want that lighter down there at the base, which I might have to do a little bit differently. All right, we're gonna go back with that mezzaluna and wipe it off. And I want to really highlight like the most highlighted side. So those petals, that petal, I know I want a little bit there on those. Those. Okay. Then I'm going to take my number 8 flat, just my regular flat one, not the wave, but I want to keep some water in it. And I'm going to pick up some of the Love Potion and just work that in, make it a little inky. Again, I love just to swipe it across my paper towel very lightly. And we're going to bring some of this color up onto the petals here and there, but not everywhere. Okay, now let me tilt that so that you can see the look that it's getting. Ah, that's great, Bonnie, because yeah, you can use those for beards and hair. And so again, this is the Love Potion. I'm just going to put a little bit on those back petals. Okay, I feel like that got a little misshaped right there. It did. All righty. A little notch at the bottom of my tulip there. Okay, back to my angle brush, because I want to come in with a little bit of that Doxine purple. And remember, I'm going to float it on this way. And when I do, I'm just going to slightly come out. So again, here. But then slightly bring that color out. Use your mop to soften. This one got a little lost, but it's there. That one goes to there, and that one goes to there. All right, and then let's do the back and the front. So we are going to just put in some of that darker Doxine purple. And you see how I'm floating it on, but I'm also bringing my brush up. And then we will soften that. Okay. I'm going to do, I think, that petal there. All right. So I'm going to go back to my wave brush. Now, remember I told you guys, oftentimes when I paint and I'm designing at home, I will do something. I'm like, okay, I can simplify that step. Since I'm just painting this for the first time with you guys, it's like everything's the first step for me. So I'm going to flip back and forth as I do. And then when I finish my design, I'll look at, you know, like, oh, I could probably do away, oh, got green on my brush, do away with that step if I combine these two. So what I'm going for is I want some of these other colors to show up, the washes to show up, and the best way to do that is with adding just a little bit more warm white onto your petals. Okay. So that again is with that warm white. Now let's take our angle brush. Oh, thank you, Norma. Appreciate that. Yeah, and so yes, like what Chris just pointed out, look at the texture in that tulip because of the gesso that we put in the background. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of lavender haze and warm white and work that in on the toe of my angle brush. And on this side of the dark, I'm going to float a little bit there. So our dark is on the left, our highlight is going to be on that right. And then we've got to fix those petals up to separate them more from the background. So I'm going to do that again, same brush, same color, a little bit of lavender haze, warm white, swipe it across my paper towel, and I'm going to float that color right along the edge. But what I'm doing is a little bit of a movement. I wouldn't say zigzag, but a movement that I can get a little edge on that petal that's not just straight. Okay, so do that with that color. Again, lavender haze and a little bit of warm white. I can bring that over. Same thing with this one. So that color's on the toe, lavender haze, warm white. The toe is going to be right there where I want to lay in that brighter color. Right along that petal, just to give it a little bit of a ruffled edge. Same thing on this one, so it's not so straight. And then highlight those and bring down a little bit of a ruffled edge. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit more warm white because I want some of these to stand out a little bit more. That needs a little shading between those two. It kind of got lost. Okay. Bye, Linda. See you later. I love that ruffled edge too, right? Just kind of takes it from being straight and flat. All right, I'm going to come back in. I want to regain my shape. And again, when I'm designing and painting, best way for me to be able to do that is to come in with my darks. So regaining where I have those shadows. There. And I think on this one, it is going to be there. And then same with this one. Gonna have a little shadow right in there. So like I did with the light, I can make this a little bit more ruffly or inset with that dark when I put that on. And then again, soften that out. When you do that, I'll show you. You'll want to come back and make sure you highlight on the other side of that. Okay. So again, that lavender haze, warm white. Give it a little ruffle. And I just use my finger to kind of soften out the edge. You might have to highlight that a couple times. And then a little bit brighter highlights. Because I'm going to wash on, I'm thinking that Amazement is going to look pretty. I hope it does. It's it's kind of what I have in my mind, so I'm hoping that I get the look that I'm going for. But we'll see. And if not, guess what? It's paint, right? And we can wipe it off or paint over it. This is absolutely my favorite angle brush. These bristles, if you have Decor Art Traditions brushes, same filament in it. But this one just holds moisture and to me releases that moisture the way I like it. So, okay, I'm gonna go back to my Mezzaluna real quick after we dry this, and I wanna brush on some of that Amazement green. Again, I'm hoping it translates the way that I think it might. And we will wipe that off. And we're going to come in from the edge. Again, just on those brighter highlighted areas. Oops, got a little water there. We don't want water in our dry brush. So let me wipe that off. I might even take some of that right down that stem. Okay. So my number 8 flat, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that Amazement. Work it in, swipe it across my paper towel. Oh, yeah. Very pretty. I'll pick up a little lavender on my brush, brush it over. Such a pretty color on there with that purple. I'm a little surprised, but that's what I was hoping it would do, is just give it a little bit of that glow and over that purple. I don't know if you guys are seeing that on the camera. It's just really pretty. Okay, let's dry this. We're going to put a little pink. I still feel like I need to fix that. I want to get a little bit more movement and texture there. So this is just that warm white. We had that blue there. Not blue, Amazement, green, funny enough. But loved the way it looks. We're going to go back to a little bit of Love Potion. So if anything, I guess it's kind of an insight too for you guys to see when I'm winging it at home, painting a design and coming up with something as playing around. It's not just a one and done. It's a lot of little steps that go into it. Okay. Again, for the, umpteenth time, let's pick up a little bit of Doxing Purple. I'm going to walk that out a little bit. And we're going to float that up the dark side and a little bit onto the petal just to soften. Oh, and even that mixed with a little bit of that blue that we just put on. I keep saying blue. It's not blue. It's Amazement green. Hello, Sandy. But it certainly translates blue. It's like using primary blue in my hydrangeas, my purple hydrangeas. I love using primary blue because it leans towards purple when it's with purple. Okay, and then we will go right down there. And I'm also going to put some right along that edge. All right, a little bit more purple. I'm going to go there. There's a little sliver of a petal right there that I drew in. All righty. Thank you, Pam. I love tulips too. Okay, let's try this out. I think I'm going to add a little bit of the Lavender Haze, Amazement, and a little bit of Warm White. So probably, oh yeah, a little bit of lavender haze, a little bit of amazement for that highlight on the other side of that petal is really, really pretty. This one's getting a little lost. So we're going to add a little bit in there. A little in that section. Okay. So now I think I'm going to take that same combo, a little bit more white, a little bit more lavender for these back petals. We don't want the back petals to be as bright, but we do want those edges to, you know, have a nice little highlight. Again, that little ruffly edge. There's just a little zigzag shimmy with that angle brush. A little bit more. And we'll carry that up. Okay, I'm digging the way this is coming along, and I love the ruffly edges, but I'm thinking I need a little bit more pink back in it. So a little bit on my number 8 flat. We'll pick a little bit of that up, swipe it across my paper towel, and I'll pick up some of that. Okay, let's dry it. Right, that love potion over the lavender is just gorgeous. Right, super pretty. Again, and all the texture that we have from that background, just love it. I do see I need to fix the top of this petal. It looks a bit off. There we go. Oh, I like that. Just put a little bit more warm white right on top. Okay. All right, before we move on to the stem, let's go back to that wave brush, okay? Because I do want to keep some water in it. I'm gonna pick up some of the warm white, but I don't want it to be real, just white. So let's start with a little bit of that amazement. Swipe it across my paper towel. Kind of on the highlighted side of those petals. Maybe a little on that side. Okay, so let me hold that up. And hopefully you can see the variation of color in there. Then I'm going to come in over that with just warm white. Work that in on my palette that you can see there on the right hand side. Okay. Now let's go back to our stem. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Debbie. All right, so I have my number 8 flat. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the avocado toast, again, which is a new 2025 Deco Art color. And we're just going to put a little bit there. There. I'm brushing right over my flip and everything. I want to get brighter highlight right here, just a little bit more warm white. I just want those on those edges to really pop. Oh yeah. All righty. So we're going to dry this. I'm going to get out some of my favorite colors. So Plantation Pine. We already have Payne's Gray. All right. And we're going to go get a little, let's get a little bit of purple up and separating those two. No, it's just dioxazine purple. All right. Angle brush. I'm going to go to my, oh, where are you at? Where? My 1/4 inch faux squirrel. Okay. And underneath the stem, I'm going to load on my 1/4 inch Plantation Pine with a touch of Payne's Gray. It's just going to, you can also use the purple. I did put some purple in my leaves on, what did I just do? Oh, when we did the leaves, I think I showed where I put some purple or pink or something in it. But I like to make that nice and dark right up underneath. I'm going to go to my 3/8 angle, same colors. Plantation Pine, Payne's Gray. Let's work that in. And I'm going to turn it because I want to be able to, let's dry that. Anytime you get into a float, it's going to, that's still wet, it's going to mess it up. Hello, Anne. Okay, so I'm going to float right up that side of the stem and then right up underneath our flip. Plantation Pine, Payne's Gray, right down that right side. And then let's take our mop and soften. And dry it. And we're going to use the, I think we're going to use the wave brush on here too, would be pretty. To show how to get some of those little variegated lines that you see on a tulip leaf. I picked up a little bit more of the avocado toast just to make this a little bit more opaque. It's pretty transparent. All right, let's dry everything. Okay. Hello, Virginia. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple things. Y'all know, layers. Let's go to our Mezzaluna brush. I'm going to pick up some of the warm white and a touch of avocado toast. Work it in. Wipe almost all of it off on your paper towel. We're just going to dry brush some areas. So I know that I want it to be brighter and lighter right along that flip. Okay, it's just going to accentuate that movement of that leaf. And then we will come over here. Oh, and I'll do some on the stem. Use your finger to spread it along. It really, really, really works. And then I'll do some on the inside. right of that leaf. Okay, and that goes all the way down to our stem. All right. Just because it's screaming at me. I'm going to go back to the wave and pick up a little bit of that amazement. That's what I do when I'm designing and painting, is listening to what my piece is telling me. So if I had already painted this before, I'd pretty much know what I was going to do. But since I haven't, just gonna be on this crazy train with me, right? But a little bit more of that amazement in there. Okay. Back to my 3/8 angle. I'm going to pick up a little bit of lavender haze, amazement, work that in together, a little bit of warm white, a little bit more warm white, work that in both sides, and let's add a little bit of a highlight there, and I'm just going to use my finger to soften that look right to the edge. Bring it down. Okay. I know it's very white right now. Just trust the process. And then some on that leaf, which is going to help also bring out that little wiggle wave on the petals. And that goes right over. All right. Number 8 flat, wet. I'm going to pick up some avocado toast. Swipe it across my paper towel, and we're going to brush it right over our stem, right over that really pretty highlight that we put on. And do you see what happens? It takes on that color from the avocado toast, and with the wash over it, that avocado toast has a pretty heavy yellow content. So that's going to give you a really pretty tint to those leaves. Aw, thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. Alrighty, let's come back in with the rake brush. Not rake brush, the wave brush. That's not it. This is the wave brush. Okay, I'm going to pick up water on my brush, pick up some plantation pine, and I just want to work that in on the brush. And then I can pull some lines. I just want them subtle. So let me show you. Okay, so pulling in some of those lines. I can even just brush that right over. Okay, but I love the way it gives you the just a variety of lines there. Back to my medium mezzaluna. We just want it a little bit lighter in here than what it is. And I don't, you guys might have a better way, but when I am painting, I'm like, oh, I really want to lighten that area up. The best way I find is to dry brush warm white or a lighter color in that area. Okay, so it's just my go-to trick. It does add an extra step, but at the same time, I love the way it looks. Put a little bit. All right. Bye, Kay. See you Thursday in the group. All right, a little bit of plantation pine, touch of Payne's gray. We are going to start fixing some of this up. Separating, because that goes right over the stem there, so we want that to be nice and rich and dark. A little bit of avocado toast right over those whiter areas that we dry brushed. Then we're going to use some lavender and some amazement. Okay, but I do want to fix one thing that's on my yelling at me right here. Just want to broaden that just a wee bit. Okay. All right, now coming back with my number 8 flat, but I want it to be quite dry. So I'll just take a paper towel and, pinch it, get most of that moisture out. I'm going to pick up a little bit of lavender haze, tap it across my paper towel, and right here, I'm just going to tap on a little highlight of that purple. Put a little bit on that leaf. Oops, maybe a little bit in the center of the leaf. On that side of the leaf. And then without washing it out, I think I'll just pick up a little bit of amazement, swipe it across my paper towel, and let's see what that does. Yes, love that. Love that combination of those two colors, so pretty. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm digging that. Okay. And then, while you're painting it, if you're like, oh, I want a little bit more color there, I'm going to pick up some Doxine purple. And remember, it's very strong. In fact, I have enough for every single person on the live right now to be able to paint, because that a little goes a long way. But I want to stick a little purple on my leaves. And when it hits kind of like the highlighted area, oh, so pretty. A little bit on that stem. Let's dry it. I still want to make the base of this, I think, lighter. So I'm going to use a small flat, pick up some warm white. Oops, very wet there. And you know how it just kind of comes up from where the stem is in the center. Sometimes you get a little glow of yellow, sometimes a little glow of lime green, or sometimes just, kind of white. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Lemon Burst, which is another new color. And a tiny touch of Dari Light Yellow. I don't want it to be orangey, and Dari Light Yellow can go a little orangey. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit of that color. Give it a little bit of a glow. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Come back with a little warm white. There we go. A little pop. I love that lemon burst. I think it'd be pretty on that stem. Probably even on those leaves. Oh yeah, pretty, pretty, pretty with that yellow on there. All right. Let's get that little line back in there. I lost that line, and I'm just using the brush I have, which is what I started floating with when I started painting, was a flat brush, but my new favorite for the last, I can't even tell you how many years, has been an angle brush. Okay, we're going to go back to the Amazement. A little bit of warm white. Remember, don't worry if it's too bright and white. That's going to help you. Okay, we're going to try that. I feel like, you know how when a leaf turns, a little bit darker color on that other side. I'm just feeling like it shouldn't be super light. Just going to smooth that with a little water, guys. And tap, 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 dry. Avocado toast. That's the last on those leaves. Bring a little bit of that yellow back. Okay. Hello, Carrie. All right, so, ooh, I just went into the wrong color. And why is my paper towel over there? I'm kind of a stickler about where my palette is and my paper towel, and here I am reaching over. I'm gonna go back in with a little Doxine purple, work that in. Again, just to put in a little bit more color between our petals one last time. And then I'm trying to decide how I'm gonna paint the words. I don't know. And I have that bee. So we'll have to see where we're gonna put that. That Doxine purple in the media line is, again, one of those colors that if you don't have any, Payne's gray, Doxine purple, it's a game changer. It's really, really pretty. Okay. I want to add a little bit of that and a little bit of the lavender. So I just picked it a little bit of water, a little bit of lavender on that dirty brush. And pick up a little bit more of the Doxine purple, swipe it off. Add some of that purple in. On those leaves. And when you really, really need to separate this, Payne's gray, sap green, hello. When have I used sap green other than oils? Plantation pine. Okay. All right. I still, I can't get that to be bright enough, but I'm going to do it with the lavender haze, I think. I'm just going to tap it right on the stem. All right, let's move this out of the way. I still feel like it needs a little more shading, but we'll deal with that in a second. Let's go to the Hello Spring, and what else did I have? The bee. So let's zoom in. Okay. So I think the Hello Spring I'm going to do with a dauber, and I need some whites first. So these you want to paint like with a multi-purpose sealer, or you can do it with white. The reason I like to use the dauber is that it doesn't get along the edges. Like if I used a brush, it's going to go into all those little nooks and crannies and make a big mess, right? So you just want to tap, 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 tap. Bye, Patrick. Thanks for being here. Have a great week at school. Okay, and I know that this is, the majority of it's going to be black, but we'll just go ahead and tap it on white as well. Move that to the side. Okay. Let's take the other side of that dauber, and I'm going to pick up some of the avocado toast. And we are just going to tap over everything. That's that leaf color that we used. All right. And then without drying it, I'm going to flip it over. Excuse me, not flip it over, use the same side with that amazement. And we'll just kind of work that in, maybe pick up a little bit more of the avocado toast, tap it across my paper towel, and I'm going to tap it along the bottom half of those letters. You can use tape to hold it down, but hello. Then I'd have to get tape out. Now, this part can be a little tricky because the letters on top, we'll take care of that later. But what I'm going to do now is, remember I had that yellow, or excuse me, the warm white. I'm going to pick up the lemon burst and work that in. And while this is still wet, I'm going to go over it to brighten it. So started with avocado toast, added some amazement, then a little bit of lemon burst, and I'm loving that combo. And then I'll just take my angle brush with avocado toast on it, and anywhere you have where the color went that you don't want it to, you can wipe it off. Okay. I know that probably looks a little bit more white than it is. It's not real white. Okay, Now let's go to the bee. So I could come in and kind of figure out, well, with a pen that works. I was going to use a pencil, but the pencil's going to bleed. Let's see if this one's going to work for me. And I'm just going to kind of sketch in. Like I said, I will have these bees on my website tonight or tomorrow, just to kind of get a little bit of shape. I'm going to come in with a rigger brush. Okay. And go into black. Let's get some black. Let's get some lamp black. And let me zoom in just a wee bit. Just a bit. So you can see all the paint on my fingernails and everything. And we are going to come in on the antennas there and the head. And then we've got little fuzzy butt right here, little fuzzy center. You notice how I'm tapping that brush. I'm tapping and pulling. So I get a little bit of texture in there. Then we're gonna do, oops, I went too wide. I'm gonna have to fix that with white. And when you do these, you want to give them a little bit of a, like a U. Okay, a little bit of movement instead of a straight line. That's gonna help give that body some shape. But I went over too far. So I'm gonna come back with just warm white. And I'm doing like little dashes. Down and up, down and up. Okay, let's dry it. I'm gonna use the lemon burst. And we will get the feet, legs, the feet. We'll get the legs on there. Hello, Helen. Good to see you on. Again, just a quick little dry. And then we'll come back in with that lemon burst. And I'm just going to tap, 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 tap a little bit more. This might take 2 coats. We'll see. Okay, you're looking a little dirty. We need to fix them up. Oh, no problem. Denise, glad you joined us. Okay, so I'm going to come in because I need to fix that yellow up in that one area. Add a little bit of warm white to my brush. I'm just going to make it more white than I want it, but it will help fix up that little area. Make it fuzzy. So let's let that dry. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that black on my rigger, and I'm just going to pull out some little vein lines on my bee. To be honest with you, I really don't care if they are exactly the same on either side. But if you do, you can always mimic it. Okay, I want them to settle anyway. Okay, with that black on my brush, we'll just make sure we've got little uneven lines to separate. Okay, I was thinking since I had the Diary Light Yellow, that I would use that. However, I think I'm going to use fresh mango. Okay. You can use saffron yellow, but I think that will be pretty. Let's see. Get a little bit of fresh mango. And I'm just going to float that on the yellow part. Oh, got it on the black. Hello, Sandy. That's okay. Let's come back in with our angle brush, which is also great for doing little fuzzy bees because you can just use the toe. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. So the background we did a few weeks ago using tissue paper that I send out with orders this spring. Let's let that cool down a second. And I'm gonna go to a flat brush. I could use a small Mezzaluna, but I think I'm gonna use this number 4 flat, and I'm gonna load it up with my white paint, which is warm white, and brush almost all of it off. And we are going to dry brush a little high. Oop, I think I wiped off too much. A little dry brush on our antenna, on the legs, and then right there down that highlighted part. Okay, so I'm just kind of tapping. I have very little paint, but you can see hopefully that that's dry brushing that little highlight on. Then I'm going to get my brush wet, pick up more of the warm white, and I want to come in and go over the wings and attach them to his body. So go over the wings. Now I'm going to bring just a little bit of a triangle to attach him to his body. Okay, so here we have, let me zoom out. I've got a couple touches I need to do. But with our bee and with Hello Spring, I love that. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Amazement, tiny touch of warm white, and I really just want to brighten this up. I don't know why. Just keep going back to this one spot. Oh yeah, I love, love, love that extra little touch, that extra highlight to brighten that up, separate. And it's a pretty highlight for that side. Now, funny thing is, look at this one right here. So when you have something that the bright looks pretty, but the dark's kind of that fixing one of them will certainly help. All right, let's go to our number 4 flat. Y'all know how much I love cast shadows. So Payne's Gray, we're going to work it into an inky, inky, inky consistency. Now the fluid acrylics are, oh, let's get away from that green. The fluid acrylics are already thin. They don't have the solids in them like regular acrylic paint. So if you put too much water, sometimes you lose the effect, but let's come right up underneath here. We're going to come right up there and get that little shadow on. I am going to take a paper towel and just soften it. Sometimes I soften it too much. On our stem, we want our stem to come away from the stem. So I want to bring it to there. On this, I'm going to bring this up, but then I'm going to bring that out to make it look like that shadow is from our leaf. And do a little back here, not much, but some. Oh, I just stuck my finger in it. Okay, and even that inky Payne's Gray could work where you might want to, you know, darken some things up on your flower because it's transparent, especially right here. A little bit of that shading underneath there. Hello, Marlene. Alrighty, guys. You mentioned making the first part of the tissue paper. May I ask, is that session here? It is on YouTube, Cheryl. Great question. Let me also remind you guys, let me just kind of lay this out and see. I might play around with the flower a little bit more. Plus, I also have the second surface that I did because I had originally done one. I have to fix something. I have to fix it. It drives me crazy. So you guys know probably that Facebook is changing their rules on storage. So for my membership group, all the videos are going to be there until they're not there, but they'll be on my website. Working on that now, but with 300, it's a lot of things to move. On these lives that I do on Sunday, they will be on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, but on Facebook after 30 days, they're going to go away. All right, so you're going to want to watch them on YouTube. Watching it on YouTube actually helps me too. Let me just see. All right, let's go right down here. I like that. I think that's cute on that background too. Love those colors. Let's come out. The flower. Again, I might tweak some things, play around with some things. We'll see. But I will get the line drawing. Aw, Cindy. Well, soft and light the first go around on your cast shadows, and then you can come back and darken them. Anyway, I will get the line drawing for this tulip up on the free downloadable printable. Will be on my website. If you don't follow my website, you know, like when you go to my website and it comes up with a little window that you can put your email address in, that's for my newsletter. But if you make an account on my website, then I can send you guys things and send it that way. So, working on taxes. Yes, my husband's been working on ours. Oh, excuse me, guys. Okay. All righty. Have a great one. If you don't see the line drawing loaded tonight, it will be on there in the morning, okay? And same with the surface, the bee, and the words. They're not on my website just yet. Again, I was just kind of playing around, winging it, and I'll get those loaded. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you're looking for the new 2025 Deco Art colors, you can find them here. A few weeks ago, I did them on a color wheel to kind of show you, or a palette, not a color wheel, but just to show you all the beautiful, vibrant, pretty colors. Don't forget, also on my website, I have a printable that you can download for free that you can swatch out your own colors so that you can see them true to form. I find this tool, this resource, invaluable. When you're trying to find something and you can't find the color, but you look at your swatches, you're, oh, that's so similar, I can use that. Or I can use that with a little white, or that with a little gray, or a little black. Anyway, so that's free to download as well. Don't forget that OKC Painting Palooza, you can register for that now. The catalog is online. I hope that you come and paint with me, doing some fantastic classes there, as well as net. And I will share net with you guys next week. I'll share the other two pieces, and then also hopefully the Retikit that I showed you guys. That I got in the mail that I need to figure out how it works. Anyway, thanks you guys so much. Have a fantastic week. Get those brushes out. Do something fun and creative. That statement right there is so, so true. It really does. And if you're not in the mood to paint, or you're not feeling the motivation to do so, remember that action leads to motivation. Get those brushes out. Paint something, even if it's the background, that's going to get that momentum going. And I hope that you guys just have a fantastic week. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. Appreciate you being here. And then finally, don't forget to like, comment, share if you've not done so already, so that you can be entered into the Happy Mail drawings. Don't forget, guys, if I draw your name, you need to let me know by next Sunday so that I can get that out to you. All right?